Bernard. Pleasure to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Team Rubicon is about doing some amazing things. It's about putting veterans in places of need, basically. Places that have had disaster. They turned it into a nonprofit, and it's now helping veterans kind of rediscover and find themselves in a position to continue to serve the world.
Our motto is to deliver aid and relief on the people's worst day. You look at our history, it really started in Haiti with that earthquake. To understand that in whatever capacity it is, service is a valued, trait for people. It's part of who we are as a country and part of who we are as people. So response is really where we want to be. Make the decision quickly, get there, and figure out what has to happen.
So that's what this organization does. This is what this organization stands for. It stands for being better people, it stands for healing, and it stands for impact in the community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are incredible.
So when we need people, we send out orders, and it's, make a yes-no decision. Our base of people is primarily volunteers. They all have jobs or day jobs, or they're searching for jobs. It's someone who has transitioned out of the military but still has that sense of service and purpose that they want to fulfill. I think that's what veterans feel. That's what veterans feel, I had a really tough time leaving. So I was with a squadron called VFA 22, was my last squadron. So we flew Super Hornets, FA-18Fs. I thought that I was going to do this forever because it's what I knew. Being upside down in an airplane, or, having an engagement with, one of your squadron mates, spiraling up a storm cloud in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And those are great moments, but it's really about, the people, incredible people. But I did my time in the military. I had some great experiences. I looked at my wife and our kids and said, it's probably time to do something different. And we forged ahead with complete uncertainty, quite honestly. I looked at hundreds of jobs applications and said, I don't have 15 years of experience in this. I don't have 5 years of experience in this. But I never saw something that said, have you commanded a squadron? Have you been in really stressful situations and made decisions very quickly that affected a bunch of lives? It's not on any stinking job statements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So true.
How many say adaptability under fire? None. We have to be really good about talking about our experiences and communicating where we can have impact, and just acknowledging in some situations you go, I don't have those skills, but I'm going to learn them faster than anybody else. I'm going to develop the people under me better than anybody else. I'm not afraid of hard work. I have integrity. I have teamwork. I have purpose. I have mission. Those are the kind of stories that I think as people like us, we have to understand, how we're going to tell our story. There are other skills that I think a lot of veterans don't necessarily understand they have until they get to use them again out of uniform. Leadership, decision-making, crisis management. It's a huge disservice if someone says, I drove convoys on Highway 1 in Afghanistan, so I'm going to be a truck driver. When that person's wired to be an artist or a musician or a coder or a teacher, because every one of those jobs, it takes leadership, it takes decision-making. So how do you unlock that as you take off your uniform? I think what really makes our organization compelling, it allows you to fill in some of those gaps that develop as you take off your uniform. Unlocking some of their self-worth that maybe they haven't felt. We got to prepare soon-to-be veterans from the day they put on a uniform to start taking notes about what they've done and what it really means on the outside.
If you could sum up one piece of advice for us to move forward to our next adventure.
All the veterans, I tell them, is I go, if you're a military member, you're 1%, less than 1% I think is the real stat. Put that in a company where you're 1 in 100, you stand out. When I transitioned, a really good friend of mine said life is about, he called them campaigns. In your life, you've got a certain number of campaigns. And how many do you want? So we've all run one campaign in the military. You have to decide if you want one campaign for the rest of your life, or if you're comfortable saying, this feels right for me at this time, then that's a campaign, and somewhere in there you're gonna go, I'm ready for another one, or another one, or another one. But my advice is to do something where you are gonna look back on that time, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna get something out of this that I'm gonna use in my next campaign. or I'm going to get something with promises of being able to learn other skills, and I'm going to grow in a different way that will allow me to run this campaign longer.